Hi, in this video I'll share with you some of my learnings after reading this book Catalyst, The Ultimate Strategies on How to Win at Work and at Life. This is written by Chandramouli Venkatesan. I highly recommend reading this book. I learned a lot out of this book. Especially I would recommend this book to folks new in their career or just starting off their careers. So there are three parts in this book on strategies that you can use at work to win at work, strategies you can use to make the right decision when you change your work, and strategies that you can use of your free time at home, which is your life, to impact your ability to succeed at work and also in life. The author has vast amount of experience and has successfully led large projects, big teams, and delivered huge results. This book is the culmination of all of his learnings. So in this video, this is the first part of some of my insights that I took out of this book, some of the inspirations. And it'll be focused mainly on how to win at work. What are some of the strategies that the author shares that we can use to win at work? The number one, biggest one for me was that do not equate the number of years that you spend at a job or the time that you spend at a job equal to the experience that you gather. So if you work at a company for 3 years, that does not mean that you have 3 years worth of experience. What you did in that 3 years at that company makes a big difference. You could be spending time doing mechanical work. You could be spending time not really learning, not really improving your skills, not growing your ability to make decisions, not growing your ability for time management or delegation or your judgment, your ability to influence or communicate effectively. If you did not get experiences or build your real experiences in that 3 years, no matter how many years you spend, it is not equal to the experience. Even though it'll look good on paper that you have 10 years of experience, 5 years of experience at this company, but it will show when you get interviewed. It will show when you get allocated work that you cannot do because you really did not build your foundation of your experiences. So the biggest learning is to really use your time well at work to build on your experiences. You need some sort of an algorithm, some mechanism to measure if you're doing the right set of things. So in this book, the author shares TMRR, which is to have a target or a goal, to measure yourself against that target regularly, review how you are progressing, and reflect on a daily basis how you did to achieve that goal. So if you don't have some sort of a learning model, some sort of a goal, and a way to review and get better at that goal, don't expect yourself that you will gain that experience. It will not come automatically. You would have to have a strategy like TMRR or some internal strategy to build your experiences, and you need some sort of a goal where you are hitting towards. My biggest inspiration from this insight was that I started reflecting on a daily basis. What could I have done better today? And I try to make that change the next day. And then I ask myself the same question the following day. Small changes over time will add up. But the key thing is to have a goal, to measure progress towards the goal, to get help from experts so that you can get to the goal faster, reflect on daily basis, and build on your experiences so that you could constantly grow your skills, your knowledge, your decision-making capacities, your judgment, your communication, and a whole host of things so that you have real experience at work. The second insight was to maximize the learning cycles. By this, what I mean is there'll be a lot of opportunities at work, but are you seeking for those bigger opportunities, or are you just satisfied with the work that you get? If you seek for larger and larger opportunities, you get to expand your skills. You might not succeed, but at least you will gain the experience. You will gain how to be at high energy, how to manage your time, how to have intensity in the work that you do. You'll be able to take on bigger projects eventually, successfully, even though some of your initial projects might not be successful. So the idea is try to seek some of those big opportunities where you can succeed and maximize for them. Like once you're done with one big one, it could be that you learned something. It doesn't have to be that you successfully delivered it, but at least it's a learning experience. So seek opportunities, take on bigger challenges, come up with ideas yourself. Maybe you could be the thought leader. If you identify an issue in an organization, in your company, in your team, champion those causes. Come up with a plan on how you can make it better. Make it big. When you make it big, you're expanding your ability. Your skill sets would automatically have to expand and you will grow. So the idea is for you to constantly grow. The first step was to make sure that you have some way to grow and you have an algorithm. But the second is to seek some of those opportunities so that you are learning all the time. The third insight and the final insight for this video is maximizing your productivity. So even if you have the skills to do your work well for the kind of projects that you get, that does not mean that you'll be able to do bigger projects. You'll be able to do bigger projects with lot many number of people, and you'll be able to deliver. The key thing here is delivery, results. Like you might have all the skills, but if you cannot actually deliver things on time, if you take forever to deliver, then it doesn't make any sense. It's not useful to the organization. So your productivity, the results that you create, the output is super important. So you have to constantly raise the bar, not just in your internal algorithm building or internal skill development, but also how you can take on bigger projects and you can still be productive so that you can constantly get better at time management, prioritization, figuring out what is the most important thing that you can focus versus delegate to the other people, figuring out what is important versus urgent. In a sense, being an effective executive, and I've done a video series on effective executive book, which helps you maximize your productivity. But overall, you can only succeed so much with what you can do. For you to work with many more people, to increase and deliver much larger projects, you would need to focus on your productivity. And there are two things that the author shares in this book. Focusing all of your energy, almost all of your energy on what you can influence, what you have control on, and growing that influence and using your energy productively is one big strategy. But a lot of people, including myself, sometimes we focus a lot of our energy on things that are outside our control. By thinking about it, but not really doing anything about it. So that's waste energy. But if you focus on your circle of influence or what you can control, some of the things under your control, and constantly expand and push the horizons by building partnership with people, by doing bigger projects, by improving your skill sets, you're growing your circle of influence to such an extent that eventually your circle of concern becomes smaller and smaller, and your energy is used well. So focusing almost all of your energy, spending almost all of your time to do things that are under your control. And there'll be things that you're concerned about. There'll be things that are outside your control. For that, you could build effective partnerships via the circle of influence that you have and give what you can influence to the other people so that they can give you back what they can control, so that eventually you're expanding your influence. But like focusing almost all of your time on what you can control and how you respond back is a very important insight to improve your productivity. And then the final thing is to focus on the most important things first. So in this image, we can see that the first jar is filled with small things like the sand, and then smaller rocks, and then the bigger rocks come at the last, right? When we use all of our times dealing with small things that are not important or not urgent or not the big things that'll make an impact in our lives, we will fill all of our time. There is not enough time even in one day for you to do everything that you're expected to do. That's the truth and reality for a lot of people. You have to focus on getting the big items first thing in the morning, and just those for a large period of time. Again, all of these are productivity tips, and I've also covered some of this in my Effective Executive video series. But this is also covered in this book on how you focus on the biggest items, starting with the rocks first, as the author says, so that you can use all of your time, energy, your willpower to tackle the most important problems first. Because if you don't do it, almost 85%, if not 90%, or all of your time will be used up in things that are urgent, not important, maybe not important. Urgent things could be important too, but you will be spending time in things that are not important. So focusing on your productivity is the most important thing. Overall, these are some of the 3 principles. To quickly recap, at work, how much time you spend at work is not equal to experience. I've made this mistake earlier in my career, and I've realized it very quickly. Building your foundational experience is the most important thing to win. And have some way to reflect. Maximize and seek new big opportunities and deliver projects by constantly improving your productivity. And there's various ways to improve your productivity, focusing on what you can control, expanding what you can control eventually, and doing the most important things first thing in the morning for a large period of time, or the rocks first approach. Thank you. Hope you found it useful.